Hey, this is Dr. David Fairweather, Bootcamp Medical Mondays. I just want to talk to you about fevers. Everybody's so concerned about fevers. They're going to different places to get their fever checked and things like that. And this is real. COVID is real. People do get fevers, but guess what? There's a lot of people that don't get fevers with COVID, but they get fevers for other reasons. And unfortunately, we as a society have been treating fevers wrong. Here's the truth about fevers. Fevers is your body's immune system working. What happens is that your body might get in contact with a virus, not particularly the COVID virus, but any type of virus, and your body temperature increases, and the body temperature kills the fever. But we've been taught since we were children to try some way to stop that fever. And honestly, that's just fighting your own immune system. Now, let's talk about little small babies. Little small babies, especially newborns, they can't tolerate fevers very well. Sometimes they get a high fever, they can get seizures. So you really want to watch them really closely. Again, moist towels, a cool bath, not cold baths. If the fever gets normally anywhere above 101.5, you may want to give them something to slow down the fever. If it gets above 102, then you may want to bring them to the hospital. Our elderly, similarly, they can't tolerate fevers very well. And similarly, if their fever gets very high, you try to calm down with cool shower or cool cloths. But then again, if it gets too high again, you want to bring them to the hospital. So look, that's a little bit of truth about fevers. And again, this is your immune system working. This is Dr. David Fairweather, Medical Mondays by Bootcamp.
David Lovelace here. Wednesday workouts through Bio Bootcamp. Today we are going to go over triceps. All right. As always, want to create good form and posture by taking the stress off the lower back. All right. I'm going to show it to you from the side so you can see that everything stays in alignment. I'm going to stagger my legs. By doing that, again, having my legs pick up the slack so that my lower back is not punished. Fully extension up. Slow down, extend up, breathe out. Exhale, breathe in, breathe out, squeezing those elbows in. Really controlling that movement. As always, you control the weight, don't let the weight control you. That is Triceps with David, Workout Wednesdays, representing Bio Bootcamp.
All right, so a lot of times we meet a lot of people. You heard my intro on this guy, ex-NFL player. This is really my buddy Reggie Rusk. I talk to this dude 4 or 5 times a week. We really became good friends. We have some things that we're going to be doing together. But Reggie, you're doing a lot of different things out there. I want you to start off by just kind of telling us a little bit about, your plight and your journey to becoming a professional athlete.
My journey started, I would say, the end of my senior year in high school, where, as a freshman, sophomore, participating in all the sports, but leading up to that, didn't have the direction or the guidance from a male figure, male role model. I didn't get in any too much trouble, but just having that guidance that someone that can encourage you to be better or become something that you didn't even know that you could become. So my senior year, going into my senior year, after football season, my coach pulls me into the office and he says, you're a hard worker, and I believe that you can play at the next level. That was the first time that someone had actually set me down and said that they think that I could play college football. So he knew a coach in California, and he had sent some past players out there before. And the interesting thing is, this guy came in my senior year, so I only had 1 year with him, but he saw enough from what I did that 1 year. And mind you, we went 1-9, so I was on a really, really bad team. But when you have character and you show leadership qualities and you play hard, no matter what it is, whatever the situation is that's going on in your life, people take notice to that. So he took notice and he invited me to his office and said he think that I could play at the next level. And I didn't fully understand what he was saying as far as me playing in California, because that's a big jump from Texas to California. So needless to say that I got an opportunity. And for many of us, all we can ask for is one opportunity. We don't need 10, we just need one.
Right.
And fortunate enough for me, I got that one opportunity and went out to California, sight unseen, no money, no support really, besides my mom growing up in a single parent household. And I went up there and got another opportunity. And that coach up there, once again, saw something special in me that I didn't see in myself. And he took me under his wing and taught me how to be more of a man, how to be independent, because now I'm, 18 years old out in another state, and first time away from home, first time on a plane. And I made good on that opportunity. So the number one thing is, when you get an opportunity, you want to make sure that you fully understand that this might be your only opportunity. And you want to make good on it.
Okay. And so with that, as you look at it from that standpoint, you're already setting it up for what you're going to talk about, which is the mentality of physical success, right? How do you get your body and your mind together to get to that next level? So what do you have for us, Reggie?
I think the most important thing, and this is one thing that I really didn't understand early on. I learned this stuff really late, but I think I was using a lot of these characteristics that would have you be successful, and I didn't know what it was. And the hard work, just making sure that you're working when no one else is watching, making sure you're sacrificing. That's so key to the level of success, because people don't see the sacrifice. They only see the end product. They
Right.
only see when you're driving in the nice cars and you're pulling up to a nice house and you're able to go on trips and do things. They see that part of it. They don't see the sacrifice that went into all of this to make all of that happen for you. And I sacrificed. I didn't go out much. I hung out with my friends, and I committed to me. And I think a lot of people don't do that. And what I mean by committing to me, when my friends were drinking and smoking, even though I hung around them, I didn't do it. I chose not to do that. I chose to take a different path because I didn't see how was that going to make me the person or the player that I really wanted to be. How was putting this toxic stuff in my body, how is that going to make me the best football player that I can be? And once again, I didn't want to let the people who believed in me, I didn't want to let those people down. You know, my high school coach, he vouched for me. You know, so he sends me to California. He's expecting me to go and do what I did for him that year, right?
Right.
So when I went and I left, man, I was like, I'm not gonna let that person down. I'm not gonna let my mom down. I'm not gonna let myself down. You know, and I think that is a big part of it is the accountability to yourself.
Well, here, before we get into the accountability, because I absolutely love what you're saying, the first thing is to make that commitment. And once you make that commitment, to me, that brings the second part of willing to make a sacrifice, right? What are you willing to sacrifice to get yourself to that next level? It's going to be some sacrifice of either time, some hard work, some research, and working behind the scenes like you're talking about. And as we talk about accountability, because now that we're talking about sacrifice, explain accountability on your level of from a professional athlete.
Accountability is everything because if you are not accountable and you don't hold yourself accountable, you won't be successful because you're going to be easily taken away from the things that's going to make you successful. Your
Mm-hmm.
friends are going to want to go out and you're like, wow, you know, I know I got to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but I'm just going to hang out. That's not holding yourself accountable because you know what's important. You have to put those things in priority and what's important to you. If going out is more important than being fresh and being well rested so you can pay attention in meetings and perform on the field, that's your job, right? And if I don't
Mm-hmm.
perform well, I'm going to get released. I'm going to get cut. So you have to hold yourself accountable. And I'm not saying not go out, not experience the fun, because that's all the work that you put in. It's for you to be able to enjoy it.
Right.
But you got to hold yourself accountable to the point where, you know, what's priority for me? You know, what am I going to do every day toward these goals that I've set for myself? And that, you know, that's another one of the key components in my life is setting goals. You know, I still set those goals. So being accountable for myself, being accountable for my actions are, you know, very important to make it at any level, but especially you talking about the top tier in athletics is the NFL. And
Right.
if you don't hold yourself accountable, you won't make it. And if you do make it because you're so athletic, you won't last long.
Mm, got you. Got you. So even from not just making it, but from sustaining as well is a good point. Now, a lot of times people look over the mental, but your body's gonna go and you're going to do what you command yourself to do. And so how do you get to that next level? On any level, you have to make that decision, right?
Right.
And when you make that decision, you now have a why of this is what I'm going to do. I am going to do this. And now you're willing to sacrifice. How do I get to that? And then hold yourself accountable and everyone around you accountable so you can achieve those goals and reach that success. Is that what I'm hearing?
Definitely. That's I mean, you have to be able to hold, you know, accountability is whether it's academics, whether it's your job, whether it's you trying to be the best sports, you know, athlete that you can be. You have to hold yourself accountable because there's too much temptation out here that can derail you. And if you don't hold yourself accountable, you will never be successful in anything. You'll have some people can have a little success, but once again, it's sustaining it. It's one
Right.
thing to make it, but how long can you sustain it? How long can you keep yourself at that high level? Because we
Right.
know bodies deteriorate.
Yes.
Injuries, all it takes is one injury, and you're half of what you were. So then now accountability. Am I going to get in there and rehab the way that I should so I can be at the level that I was before? That's a whole nother issue or example of being accountable, making sure that you're in the training room, once you're injured. So accountability is huge for, trying to be the best athlete, trying to be the best CEO, trying to be the best parent. You have to
Yep.
be accountable to your family, so that's one of my very, most key words is accountability.
So Reggie, you one of my right hand men right here when it comes to Justice League, and you have a nonprofit. Let's tell them why your heart's so big. Tell them what you do with Stay Recruited.
Well, I think anytime that you have a cause in your life, it stems from something that you've went through personally. That's for most people, right?
Yep.
For me, not having that male figure that was so instrumental for me to even go to the league. I had to have coaches that I don't even think they knew exactly what they were doing for me, but those people came into my life at the right time and they sparked something in me at the right time. So all you need is that one person that believes in you, who
Yep.
pours into you, and it can change your life. So when I started my nonprofit, that's what basically it was all about. I knew how important sports were to student athletes, and it is very important. And for a lot of kids figured that they can't make it out unless they're playing sports. So I knew that playing sports is very vital to the success of some of these athletes. So I want to take that and use it because that's their motivation, that's their why, right? And I want to make sure that I guide them in the right direction. So when it's all said and done, these kids are viable members of society.
Yes.
They have character, they have work ethic. They don't look at sports as the only avenue out after they go through the program, right? When they start the program, they think football or basketball, that's my only way. At the end of it, they learn about entrepreneurship. They learn about branding. Branding is your character, right? That's your name. That's what your legacy is going to be. So we want to make sure that they learn about that. Financial literacy. Being a former NFL player, 78% of NFL guys after about 2 years after retiring, they go broke. And
Mm.
it's not because everybody's out buying up the Bentleys and the Mercedes and all of these things. It's not because of that. It's because we have no financial history. We don't have anybody telling us about stocks and bonds where we can live for the rest of our lives making interest off of what we invested a long time ago. We didn't have people telling us that. So when I was growing up and I didn't have those things, when I created this nonprofit, that's what it was mostly about. But the most important part of the nonprofit is the mentorship. That's the
Mm.
most important part because I feel like if I can pour my heart and soul into someone, and kids are very smart, they're very intelligent, and they can
Yes.
sense when someone is doing it for the wrong reasons. They can sense that.
Mm.
So when they come into my program, they don't even look at me as a coach. They look at me as a mentor, a father figure, uncle, somewhere along those lines, and they trust me. And that's
Hmm.
the most important is gaining the trust of these young people and changing their mindset. And mindset
Hmm.
is definitely one of my points that I'll get to, but that's the whole concept is to change the way you think. And that's what my program is about, changing the way you think. I never thought that I would be a business owner. I've been a business owner since I retired from the NFL. No business experience. I never thought that I would be an author. Now I'm on 3 projects and, going to be a bestseller author. So our minds we can do anything that we want, but we need those people to believe in us and to pour that into us so we can, see that from ourselves if we come from those rough backgrounds.
Okay. So you made it sound as if you have some more points for the mental standpoint. Let's go through these points before we get to the end of this thing.
All right. The first part of success for me is to write your goals down. And like I said before, a lot of time life gets in the way. And the reason why you want to write those things down is because sometimes life gets in the way, it distracts you, you have other priorities that you need to handle. So writing those goals down and placing them somewhere where you see them every single day. And I'm gonna give you an example of why I feel like this is so important. My junior year in college, I transferred schools, and I wasn't the starter anymore, and I was pretty upset about it.
Mm.
And I couldn't figure out why a coach wouldn't want me on the field. I was arguably one of the best, or if not the best, person at the position. But I that was just something that I had to try to deal with. And instead of holding this grudge or transferring and doing all of these other things, I said, okay, I'm going to focus even harder, and I'm going to work harder, and I'm going to make these people see that I'm the best player for that position. So I first started by writing those goals down. I wrote down 5 short-term goals, and I wrote down 5 long-term goals, and I put them in my playbook. So that way, every day, every practice, I saw it. Every day that I didn't feel like getting up, every day I didn't feel like working out, just, I was able to see those things and then see why. Why did I write these goals down? Why is it so important for me to prove these people wrong? So when you find that why, you got to write those things down. So when life gets in the way, you always know, why am I doing the things that I'm doing to for that success. So I wrote those goals down, and that's why whenever I talk to kids or adults, I always tell them to write it down, because when you write it down, you see it every day, and
Mm-hmm.
it keeps you focused, it keeps you driven, it keeps you hungry. When you lose that hunger as a person, you lose everything, because if you're not hungry, you're not willing to do the things that are needed for you to be successful.
And willing to sacrifice, like you talked
And the
about earlier.
sacrifice, definitely,
Absolutely,
definitely.
absolutely. Because anything that we do that's outside of our comfort zones is a sacrifice. So when you realize that, then yeah, it'll make things a lot easier, because it's not going to be pretty. You got to go through the process to come out who you want to be on the other side. So what else you got, Reggie?
I think the next thing is, um, having that accountability, setting those goals, and then having the mindset of I'm going to be successful. And that means watching
Believe.
people who are successful, being around people that are successful. If you hang around a bunch of people who are not, doesn't have that mindset, that's
Mm,
what's going to rub off on you. So making sure that you're around people with a positive mindset. You yourself have to maintain a positive mindset about what it is that I need to do in order to be successful. Once you've written down your goals, now that's just the beginning, right?
right.
I have to be willing, again, the sacrifice, the accountability, and having the mindset, the right mindset, to know that every day is not going to be my day.
Right.
But in order to accomplish those goals, in my mind, I know I got to still fight. I cannot give up. When things are looking like they're bleak and no way out of a situation, I have to always keep that positive mindset and say, wow, you know, last year I was here. This year I'm here. Always look at things with a positive aspect to it. I look at this pandemic, as bad as it is, and we've lost lives because of it, but I found a positive in it. It
Hmm.
allowed a lot of people to find out that they had a superpower, as you would say, that they didn't know that they had. And
Right.
without this pandemic, without the mindset of saying, I'm going to change, I'm going to do something different, right?
Right.
They wouldn't have never even known.
Right.
So you can look at this pandemic as a positive. You know,
Right.
as negative as it is, you can take some positives out of it. And I've definitely taken some positive. I never wanted to do videos and live chats and all of these things, but I know what my target audience likes. I know
Right.
what the kids do. So it forced me to change. It forced me to write down new goals, right? It
Right.
forced me to have that accountability to you. I have other groups that I'm accountable for to be a part of. So always take a positive mindset, no matter how bad or grim something looks. Take the positive. When that coach told me that I wasn't starting, I used that. It took me a while, but I used that as a positive because he's the reason why I started writing my goals down.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that's the positive part of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, I absolutely love that. So many times we hear the same thing, but we have to hear it different ways, and we have to hear it from different people that inspire us, right? Like different people inspire us differently. So when people say, "Man, he made it to the NFL," there's a very small percentage of people that literally make it to the NFL. I just want to get a better body. I just want to get promoted. I just want to whatever. My dream is not even as big as Reggie's dreams were. So now, if I use his tactics, I feel that I can get to the next level.
You
Now,
can.
but right, but now before I let you go, man, I want to thank you. I know you're taking time out. I see it's a Saturday. You're out there doing your thing. I appreciate you being a part of the book Bio Bootcamp. And I appreciate you being a part of this live for Bio Bootcamp and giving us everything that you have. But you got something else that you're going to share with us that you and I have in common that everybody else had in common, and it is absolutely this product right here. What has this product done for you, Reggie?
Man, I'm not a product guy. So when I say this, it comes from the right place. It comes from the heart. I am never going to promote a product that I don't believe in. You can trust and believe when I say that. And I've told the story about the issues that I was having with sleep, first of all, and then the second thing was high blood pressure. Runs in the family. It's a hereditary thing, and it had me shook because I want to live for a long time. I have a 20-year-old daughter, and I want to live for her. I want to live for my wife and all of these other people that I'm helping. I need
Mm-hmm.
to be there for them. I want to be accountable for them. That's another accountability, is taking care of your health, right? So when I was introduced to the gel, like I said, I'm not a product guy, so I just took it, see, 60-day guarantee. So I just wanted to see what it would do for me. So after about 2 months or so, I had another doctor's visit, and I went in, and my blood pressure had been elevated for a couple years at that point. And that last doctor's visit, I went in, and my blood pressure had dropped to normal levels that I had always had in the past. So the sleep, the skin, just having more energy and feeling good. Those are a lot of the key points that I would make for the gel. It has definitely changed my life, and the people that I've had use it and try it, they all call me and say what a great thing it's done for them as well. So the gel definitely works. I would suggest it for anyone that's over a certain age, that's trying to get that energy that they need, the weight loss, the libido increase, just any of those things.
Man, I absolutely appreciate you, man. I'm not gonna hold you up, but it's these little things that we can get different insight, right? We can take a couple of tidbits, and then there's certain things that we can implement in our lives to get us to that next level. And it's just really, truly knowing from the professionals, from the top level people, that this is what we need to be doing. And because we have this, this video is going to be available, people can always go back, just like a good book, watch this again and pick up something different that can definitely propel us. I want to thank you for being part of Justice League. Just really quick before I let you go, because I know you're a team guy, right? So when it comes to being a part of a team, how do you feel about Justice League?
Oh man, for years I have tried to do everything on my own, and this is another thing that you have to look deep within yourself. We cannot grow alone. If we don't have a team of people who have the same mindset, who hold each other accountable, and believe in themselves, you will not be successful. Having a team and having people that have the same mindset, who's out doing and working just as hard as you, that's where you see your level of success grow. So for anyone, I would tell them, even if they're not on our team, find you a group of like-minded individuals, and you guys work and hold each other accountable for, the success of the group. But, for years, I've been successful on my own. But you don't grow as much as you would like to grow because you're on your own. You're doing everything.
Right.
Having the right people in place really allows you to free up. And I don't always have to be the boss. I don't always have to be the leader. I can sit back in the back seat. And as well as I do, when you're a leader or the alpha male or whatever analogy someone wants to tag you with, some days it just feels good to sit back and chill. For me, I love it. I'm in a couple groups, man, and I'm just chilling. I'm the leader of a lot of men and women, but then I can sit back and I can be led. That's a whole nother thing that I don't think a lot of people even realize. Like sometimes you can, as a leader, you can sit back and be led by other people.
Absolutely. But as we talk about mindset, our thing is, I believe we have the same mindset and heart set as well, right? And we're all trying to help people build their own individual brands like we're doing here right now. Even though this is bringing all of us together, everybody has great results. Everybody is seeing the opportunity in what we're bringing because it's so exclusive. But at the same time, we're using this as a vehicle to build exactly who we are, and so we can all live our purpose and what we're passionate about. Hey, Reggie, I want to thank you for being a part of this, man. Anything you want to say before you go?
I just want to, I appreciate you. I appreciate the hard work and dedication that you put into this. That's another thing for me. I've always, like I said, being the guy that you have to do everything, it feels refreshing to have someone else putting just as much skin in the game, putting just as much work into a common goal. And that's what teams are, right? It's a bunch of people who have the same mindset and who want to be successful. So, I really appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you've done. I've learned a lot from you since I've been associated with the group. So, I, you call me anytime. I'm down for whatever because I'm a part of a team, and I feel good knowing that your heart is just as big as mine, and we're going to help a lot of people. And that's the most important part. When we help people, that right there just solidifies everything. And we're going to be able to help a lot of people, not only with the jail, but just us being who we are as givers. So,
Absolutely. Hey, man, I want to thank you once again. Tell the family I said hello. Man, you go out there and enjoy your Saturday, and we'll be right back with our next speaker.
All right, sounds good.